Hello everyone. I welcome all of you to this another presentation on personality assessment. As we have already talked about subjective techniques of personality assessment, here we will be discussing about the projective techniques of personality assessment. Points to be covered here are projective techniques, its meaning, concept and description, objectives, its types, how it is classified, and critical evaluation of projective techniques, at what level it is advantages and what type of limitations are attached to it. Now let's begin with projective techniques. Projective technique is said to have its origin in psychoanalysis, which argues about conscious and unconscious attitudes and motivation. Understanding of an individual completely requires that along with conscious self, the unconscious and subconscious self should also be studied. Projective technique assists in understanding and assessing the unconscious thoughts, feelings, and emotions of an individual. In this respect, it provides vague, ambiguous, and unstructured situation as a stimulus. It is to the subject to structure out the situation in view of his unconscious thoughts and emotions. As the stimulus is provided in the form of some vague object or some vague situation, the subject is allowed to express his thoughts, feelings, and emotions, wishes, and suppressed ideas freely. As the subject is not aware of the revelations, he doesn't resort to defense mechanisms. It helps in uncovering and expressing feelings, emotions which the subject may not disclose usually. Purpose of projective techniques can be stated as under to study the unconscious and subconscious emotions and feelings of the subject and to bring to light his unconscious emotions and suppressed feelings which usually he may not express. In projective technique, the stimulus provided is not direct and structured, as in case of personality inventories and questionnaire, but is in the form of vague and ambiguous situation. It is an indirect way to assess an individual's personality. Zygmunt states projective technique is an indirect means of questioning that enables the respondent to project his beliefs and feelings onto a third party, to an inanimate object, or into a task situation. There are several ways in which projective techniques can be classified. Here we have classified as pictorial projective techniques, verbal projective techniques, and expressive projective techniques, and we will be studying about them in further slides. Now let's begin with pictorial projective techniques. Here the unstructured situation provided consists of vague and ambiguous pictures. The respondent observes and examines the pictures in the light of the questions thrown to him. He tries to respond looking at those pictures and thus projecting his inner thoughts and feelings without being aware of it. Common examples of pictorial projective techniques are Rorschach ink blot test, thematic apperception test, Holzman ink blot test. In further slides, we will be discussing on Rorschach and thematic apperception test. Rorschach ink blot test. It is one of the most popular projective technique. It was developed by Hermann Rorschach, a Swiss psychiatrist in 1921. It measures both intellectual and non-intellectual personality traits. It consists of 10 bilaterally symmetrical printed ink blot cards, out of which 5 cards are made in shades of black and grey. 2 cards contain bright patches in addition to shades of black and grey, and 3 cards contain several pastel shades. Now this is one of the example of Rorschach test card. Looking at the picture, we can say it is bilaterally symmetrical ink blot, and just have a look on it and try to examine what you can infer from the picture. Now let us have a look on how the test is administered. There are 3 stages of test administration. First is the performance, second inquiry, third testing of the limits. While administrating the test, the subject is handed over the first card and the question, what might this be? What it makes you think of? While the subject responses, the investigator notes down the reaction time, position of the card, how the subject handles the card, it is upside down or in right direction, and records whatever the things are stated by the subject. Second stage is the inquiry. It is conducted immediately after all the responses on 10 cards have been obtained. It consists of asking the examinee questions about each response in the presence of the card. It is done with the aim to actually understand which part of the card was noticed by the examinee. Third stage is the testing of the limits. It is not needed for all examinees. It is just done in case of uncommon responses. For the examinees who respond very uncommonly, those examinees are tested and they are given time to check whether the responses provided by them are capable of being changes, whether they want to change their responses in lieu of the responses which fulfill the Rorschach protocol. Now, there are three categories of scoring. After the test administration, the scoring is done. The scoring is done looking at three important categories, reflecting on three important categories. That is the location. Location refers to the part of the blot which produced response. Is it the whole picture or is it certain part of the blot which evoked response in the subject? Next is determinants. Determinants refers to the feature of the blot which evoked response. Is it the form of the picture or the color involved or the movement which is visible? Third is the content. Content refers to the subject which he sees, with the subject which the respondent sees. For example, whether the picture in the picture he sees human being or animals or anatomy or he is referring to botany or whether he is referring to clothing, food, landscape, whatever content he is observing in the picture. So this is how the scoring is done. Three categories are there: location, determinants, and content. Thematic apperception test is another very popular projective technique of personality assessment. It was published by Murray and Morgan in 1938. If you see the term thematic and apperception, thematic refers to the topic or the subject on which the person speaks, looking at the stimulus provided in the form of picture card. Apperception implies clear perception and definite recognition. The subject not only perceives it, but also recognizes the implication of the stimulus provided in the card. Thematic apperception test has 31 cards, 30 picture card and one blank card. On an individual subject, only 20 cards are to be administered. These cards are used in various combinations depending on the sex and age. Some cards are used for all subjects while others are divided according to the age and sex. The test is administered in two 1 hour sessions, 10 cards in each session. The unusual dramatic cards are selected for the second session. An interval of 24 hours is recommended between the sessions. Now this is one of the cards of thematic apperception test. We can see a boy sitting looking at a violin and this picture may serve as a stimulus to evoke responses in the subject. This is another card from thematic apperception test. Here we can see a lady standing near the door with her hand on the door and her second hand on her forehead. This picture serves as a stimulus on the basis of which the response is evoked. Interpretation of the test is done in accordance with the questions asked during test administration. Uh, what is the present situation? What do you see in the picture? What might have occurred during this situation, what had led to this situation, what are the thoughts and feelings of the characters, who is the protagonist, who is the hero of this situation, what might be the preceding events, what might have happened in the story in the background, what might have led up to the events, and what will be the final outcome, what the situation will lead to. So in light of these questions, the test is interpreted. So we have done with pictorial projective techniques in which the stimulus provided was in the form of picture. Here we have verbal projective technique. In this, the stimulus provided is in verbal form. They may be in terms of words or sentences, and the responses are also verbally expressed towards the stimuli. Here, both stimulus and responses are in verbal form. Common examples of these types of tests are word association test, sentence completion. In word association test, the stimulus provided is a word. The examinee responds with the first word that comes to his mind after listening to the stimulus provided by the examiners. The examiner note down the responses and the reaction time taken to respond towards each stimulus word. A very good example of this type of test is Kent-Rosenoff free association test. Likewise, there are sentence completion tests in which the examinee is provided with incomplete sentences and asked to complete as they wish. There is no time limit. They may think over it and answer. It is useful in interpreting traits like anxiety, hostility, aggression, etc. For example, sentences may be like that. People are dissatisfied because the examinee may fulfill according to his wish. She is always It is up to the examinee to complete it as he wishes. And I feel this is again an incomplete sentence, which is like a stimulus in sentence completion test. A very good example of this is rotor incomplete sentence blank. Yet another type of projective technique is expressive projective technique. In this, the subject is provided the opportunity to express himself through drawing, painting, role play, and handwriting. In such techniques, the ways in which the individual manipulates or works with the given material is important because it is assumed that through these manipulations he expresses his needs, motives, emotions, conflicts, etc. A very good example of such technique is match over draw person test. Apart from this, we have toy test, artistic production, graphology through handwriting, painting and drawing. We can make out what a person is, how a person's personality is. Critical evaluation of projective techniques. No theoretical base. There are no consistent and meaningful theories which provide for the foundation of projective techniques. When compared to the objective and subjective techniques of personality assessment, the stimulus in case of projective techniques are usually vague and ambiguous, and they do not pose any threat to the self-image of a person. Hence, the response provided in projective techniques of personality assessment are mostly true. They are not distorted by the feelings of social approval. So the responses are not susceptible to fake responses. No consensus in interpretation of projective techniques. Interpretation of results require rigorous expertise and specialization. Owing to its subjective nature, there is no agreement among the scorers, among the interpreters of score. There is no evidence of the stated relationship of the test indicators and personality traits. Whatever the test is actually measuring and actual personality traits, there is no evidence of such relationship usually found. Construction and standardization of the test is also difficult. Construction of such tests requires creating creative ability and specialized skill to think of the items, its administration, its scoring procedure. so it is a difficult task, and even the standardization of such a test is also very difficult. Such tests usually have low reliability and validity. There is no uniform way of scoring and interpreting the results, hence the scorers vary in their interpretation. Even the test retest score of a subject also vary, hence so the reliability is usually low, even the validity is not satisfactory. So this is all in projective techniques. Thank you for watching. Thank you.